Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. Why the Golden Bachelorette alums Joan Vassos Chock Chapple won't have a TV wedding. The Golden Bachelorette star Joan Vassos said that she won't be getting married to Chock Chapple on TV. But regardless, she plans to keep the fans informed when the time comes for their wedding. Vassos added that she will also keep viewers informed if their relationship ends. Joan Vassos and Chock Chapple won't say their "I do's" on TV. Viewers watch the Golden Bachelorette couple get engaged in the July 2024 finale of the ABC reality dating show, but they won't get to see the pair tie the knot when the time comes. People say, "Will you get married on TV? It hasn't been offered to us," Vassos shared this week on the Tangle with Kyle Ridley podcast. "And so I am perfectly happy doing our own family wedding with our family and friends." However, Vassos, who recently shot down rumors that she and Chapple had already secretly gotten married, said she plans to keep her fans in the loop. "I would never want for them to find out that we got married and not know that. I don't think it's fair," she noted. "I would never not put some pictures up and let you know what's happening." Calling her relationship with the Golden Bachelorette viewers paramount, Vassos added that she plans to keep fans up to date on the status of her relationship with Chapple, good or bad. "I would never leave them at the door," she said. "I feel like just because the show is over, the door shouldn't be shut. They deserve to see how this progresses, and if it does well, celebrate with us, and if it doesn't do well, understand what happened." As for the current status of her engagement, Vassos said fans have nothing to worry about. "Clearly it's doing well. We're better than we've ever been," she said. "We're as close as somebody who's been dating for a year should be." In the season 1 finale of The Golden Bachelorette, Vassos accepted Chapple's proposal after sending fellow contestant Guy Gansard home. ABC previously featured a televised wedding special for the Golden Bachelor Season 1 stars Jerry Turner and Theresa Nist in January 2024. However, 3 months later, the former couple announced their split. "Theresa and I have had a number of heart-to-heart conversations, and we've looked closely at our situation, and we've come to the conclusion mutually that it's probably time for us to dissolve our marriage," Turner said on Good Morning America in April 2024. He officially filed for divorce from Nist on April 12, 2024, and they reached a settlement in June 2024. Stepped into the role of the first ever Golden Bachelorette. Fans were ready to see love bloom on primetime television in a way that was heartfelt, mature, and refreshingly real. By the time the finale aired, Joan had found her perfect match in Chock Chapple, the charming, grounded widower who seemed to understand her on a soul-deep level. The final rose was emotional, the proposal was touching, and the nation collectively cheered for a love story that felt like it could be the beginning of a true happily ever after. Naturally, Bachelor Nation assumed that the next step would be a grand televised wedding. After all, that's been a tradition in the franchise for decades, from Trista and Ryan's lavish televised ceremony to recent Bachelor couples cashing in on the made-for-TV wedding spectacle. But Joan and Chock? They're rewriting the rules. The pair recently confirmed they won't be saying "I do" in front of ABC's cameras, and their reasons are as fascinating as their love story itself. A love that started quietly and stays that way. Joan and Chock's romance wasn't about fireworks and drama. It was about shared glances, late-night talks, and moments of vulnerability that viewers got to witness in real time. Joan, a widow who spoke candidly about losing her husband, found solace in Chock's gentle nature. Their connection blossomed not through over-the-top dates, but through small acts of care. Chock famously making Joan a cup of tea during a stressful rose ceremony night is still one of the most replayed clips on social media. And maybe that's why they're shying away from a televised wedding. Their love didn't thrive under spectacle. Instead, it grew quietly and consistently, like a tree that doesn't need attention to keep growing tall and strong. Joan even hinted in a recent interview that she wants their wedding day to be about us, not about production schedules. Protecting the sacredness of the day. A TV wedding might sound glamorous, but it also comes with lights, cameras, producers, and network executives who have a say in everything from the guest list to the flower arrangements. For Joan and Chock, who both have adult children and grandchildren, the idea of turning what should be a deeply intimate moment into a reality TV event didn't sit right. We want our families to feel like this is our day, not a day that has to be filmed a certain way or paused for commercial breaks, Joan said in a podcast appearance. This is about blending two lives, not creating 2 hours of entertainment. It's hard not to respect that choice. After all, marriage is as personal as it gets. And maybe after everything Joan and Chock have been through in life, they've earned the right to do it their way. Avoiding the pressure of perfection. A TV wedding isn't just about the vows, it's about creating a perfect moment that will look good in high definition. That means perfect lighting, perfect makeup, perfect timing. But Joan and Chock seem less interested in perfection and more interested in authenticity. Chock joked in a recent interview, "I don't want to have to worry about whether I'm standing on my mark when I'm saying my vows. I just want to hold Joan's hands and not think about where the cameras are." This sense of freedom, to laugh if they mess up a line, to cry without worrying if the lighting will catch the tears, is what makes the idea of a private wedding so appealing. Setting an example for a different kind of love story. Bachelor Nation has been conditioned to expect fairy tale endings that involve big dresses, exotic locations, and champagne toasts under string lights. But Joan and Chock are reminding everyone that love in midlife can look a little different, and that's not a bad thing. Their decision to keep their wedding off camera sends a message that romance doesn't have to be performative. It can be quiet, it can be sacred. It can be just for the two people who found each other against all odds. In some ways, this choice makes their love story even more inspiring. It's not about proving anything to viewers or living up to franchise history. It's about doing what living their happily ever after. For many Bachelor Nation couples, the wedding is the big payoff, the proof that the relationship worked. But Joan and Chock don't seem to feel like they have to prove anything. They're already living their happily ever after, traveling together, spending time with each other's families, and sharing occasional glimpses of their life on social media. Fans still get to see them laugh together over breakfast, attend charity events, and post adorable pictures of weekend trips. But the wedding, they say, is where the line will be drawn. "We invited America into the beginning of our story," Joan said, "but the wedding is the start of the next chapter. And we want to turn that page in private." What this means for Bachelor Nation. While some fans may be disappointed they won't get the fairy tale TV wedding special, others are celebrating this as a healthy boundary for reality TV couples. Joan and Chock are proving that the love story doesn't have to end when the cameras stop rolling. In fact, that's when the real story begins. And who knows? Maybe one day they'll share a few wedding photos or a short video clip after the fact. But if they don't, that's okay too. What matters most is that Joan Vassos and Chock Chapple found love when they least expected it. And they're choosing to nurture that love away from the pressures of television. A love story written their way. At the end of the day, Joan and Chock are teaching Bachelor Nation something valuable. Love doesn't have to be broadcast to be real. They've given fans the gift of watching two people find each other later in life, proving that romance is ageless and that second chances at love are worth celebrating. And maybe that's the perfect ending. Not a glittering ballroom with 10 cameras capturing every kiss, but a quiet ceremony, maybe in a garden or on a beach, where Joan and Chock promise to love each other for the rest of their lives, with no one watching but the people who matter most. Sometimes the best love stories are the ones the world doesn't get to see.